Hello all, welcome back to my channel. So guys, this is video 1 of our Dask series, and in this particular video, I'll be explaining you all in detail about Dask, and I'll be covering maximum topics related to Dask. So guys, the main aim of this particular video is that to add uniqueness in your resume. Until now, I have discussed with many of them, and even I have checked many of the resume for the key technical skills. Many of them have mentioned only pandas, numpy, and rarely some of them have mentioned about Pyspark. So many of them, and even the viewers now who are watching this particular video, many of them don't even know that there is a library exists in Python called Dask, which is very helpful for parallel computing to perform machine learning tasks. It is not an issue, guys. This is a beginner friendly video. In this particular video, I'll be explaining you all in detail about Dask completely from basic to advanced level, and even we will be implementing the project also, which you can add in your resume, and even you can mention Dask as a skill in your resume, which can add uniqueness to your resume, and there is a high chance of getting shortlisted. So guys, now let us not waste our time. Let's dive into our today's topic. Before that, if you have not subscribed the channel, do subscribe the channel and on the bell notification, and encourage me to do more videos. You can connect with me on LinkedIn also. So guys, firstly let me show you all Dask documentation. This is Dask documentation. So firstly, what is Dask? So Dask is a free and open source library. This is open source library in Python, and which is helpful for parallel computing. Many of them don't even know about parallel computing also. So what parallel computing mainly does is that when it comes to NumPy or pandas, you can execute it like if you are trying to load the data. It will be like after each process, or else after each row it will load the next row. It cannot load multiple rows at a time. But when it comes to Pyspark or else Dask, they can perform multiple operations at a time. It can do parallel computing. Let me explain you all about Dask with a good example. For example, you have 1 million or else 5 million of data. You want to load it to your Jupyter notebook. If you use pandas or numpy, so there will be a high usage of RAM, and there is the high chance of kernel crash, because of which pandas and numpy are not at all good for larger data sets or else a big data sets. You know why? Because when it comes to pandas or numpy, it will perform the operations serially. Like after each iteration, it performs another iteration. You can take an example of like loading after each row. Once the first row is done, then it will load the second row. But when it comes to PySpark or else Dask, it is not that scenario. They can do parallel computing. At here, you will be dividing the task and providing it to the number of workers you assign. You can create the workers of your choice accordingly. Like you want two workers or three workers, and you can parallelly allot them that this much RAM only you can use, and based on that you will be segregating the task to them, because of which even if there is millions and millions of data, even it's 10 million of data also, this particular frameworks or else libraries can easily handle, and it can load the data successfully. You're getting my point? So guys, now let us start with implementation itself. Let me first open a Jupyter notebook for you all. Let me just create a folder here. Dask1. I'll just name the folder name as Dask1, and let us create it with the help of VS Code, and you should use a virtual environment for this. It will be very helpful for you all. Open it VS Code. So just follow the same steps and work along with me. Yes, it's authorized. You can give it here. So guys, now what we'll be doing, we'll be taking it, selecting a terminal, and I'll be selecting Git Bash. Git Bash is very helpful for us and very easy to use compared to PowerShell or command prompt. My best recommendation will be Git Bash. Even there are some small drawbacks also in Dask. I'll be explaining you all about that at last. So now let me just create a virtual environment for you all. Conda create -p. Okay. 1 second. -p, and let me give it a name as Dask1, or else let us just give Dask, it's fine. So now it's creating Dask framework. Let's wait for it to create a Dask venv. Okay, it's asking the permission. Let's give yes. So that particular VENV is created. Now let us take Conda activate Dask. So it is activating Dask. Okay, dot slash Dask. So Dask is activated. We have created our virtual environment. So guys, why we mainly create virtual environment? Because each project will be working on will be having different requirements. So if you don't create virtual environment, these particular libraries whichever you are installing, it will be directly installed in your main computer, because of which this project might run now properly. But again, when you come after some days after working on many different projects, and when you come back and try this project, there will be some chances of requirements missing, or else some libraries might get uninstalled or version errors. So to overcome that, we create a virtual environment and we define all the requirements here only and we install here only, because for each project there will be a different environment created and there will be no conflict or else no errors while we again come back and check here, or else there will be no internal errors for other projects also. For that we create a virtual environment. Now let me just launch Jupyter Notebook for you all. I'll just take Jupyter Notebook, or else we'll use Jupyter Lab. So it's launching its Jupyter Lab. Let's wait for it. So I'll take it into a new tab. So now the Jupyter Lab is launched. Now let us start with our new Python notebook. I'll just click on this. Let me rename this notebook as, where is the rename option? Yeah, rename it as Dask. Only I'll just name it as Dask for now. Okay. So now let us start with Dask installation first. For that, what we have to do, pip install Dask. So guys, why I'll be using complete here. I'll tell you all why I'm using complete also. You have to give exclamatory mark before installing or before running this command. Remember that, because if you give exclamatory mark, this particular exclamatory mark at first in the Jupyter Notebook, it will consider that particular line as command, not any code of Jupyter Lab. Okay, you're getting my point. Now let us see why we have mainly installed this Dask complete only. You can even install only Dask, but I have mainly used Dask complete. Let me show you all that in documentation. Why I am showing you all documentation repeatedly? Because yeah, if we teach you, it's fine. Like by seeing the videos and learning, everything will be good for certain time. But after certain time, when you get issues and everything, documentation will be better for you all. I would definitely recommend you all to go through the documentations, go through the codes of documentation and understand in that. By seeing videos and learning and only executing, that will be a loop. You cannot learn new things. When you start to explore the documentation and when you learn new things, you can understand many things. So guys, you can see here, you can only run Dask. Conda install Dask, pip install Dask, anything you can use it. You can only install Dask, but why I have mainly used Dask complete? Because it will install everything related to Dask, so that I don't need to again reinstall again and again whatever I require. You are getting my point? So this is the main use I have installed this Dask. So this is the installation command. So you can just search for Dask install. You will get the this particular documentation page. In this, everything will be available how to install. You can see this, or else if possible, I'll try to create a Medium article on this and I'll be putting the link in this particular video description. You can check out that also. So now Dask is installed. Now let us install some more requirements are there. First we'll install all those, then we'll start with the execution. So even we have to install Dask distributed also. Dask distributed, and I need to upgrade that also. If it's already existing, so here we have installed, right? If it might be existing, then it will upgrade that. Might be the version, if its latest version is there, it will just upgrade it out. Now let's install other requirements also. What and all will be required for this particular project? Dask, pip install Dask data frame. Let me close this. I'm running every commands at a time. So Dask complete is done, right? Okay, that's enough. Only these are enough for now. Let me just run this. If there is any issue in between, we'll just go through the documentation. It's not an issue. You can see here everything are installed. Now let us run with this command to see whether what is the version and everything of our particular Dask. Pip show Dask. Just run this particular command. It will show your Dask current version, and if it's executed or not, you will get to know. So you can see here the current version of Dask is 2023 5.0, and summary is parallel PyData with task scheduling. So this is installed with task scheduling. You can see here everything, what and all requirements are already installed. Dask ML is there, Dask GML, everything will be there. Don't worry about this Dask ML. I'll be explaining about it also in detail with you all. So guys, and also let me announce you all my next video also. Once this is done, we'll be doing a complete project related to Dask. We'll be taking one problem statement and one data set, and we'll be completely implementing that project. It will be very interesting. Even you can mention that in your resume, and you can even mention that project also in your resume. So guys, until now we have installed all the requirements whichever we require. So we have installed Dask, Dask complete, and even Dask.distributed everything. And even we have checked whether the Dask is properly installed or not. So it's working fine. Now let us start with importing the required modules. And let us start with a small implementation. For each implementation code, I'll be explaining you all. So let me just close this and make it a bit bigger. So now what we'll do, we'll import the required Dask frameworks and everything, whichever is required for us, modules. So first let us import OS. So OS is required. Then let us import dask.dataframe as DD. So this okay, as DD, and then again we have to import dask.distributed also. Let me just first import from dask.distributed, import client, comma, and local cluster. So we are performing the tasks locally, right? So I have to import even local cluster also, or else it will throw us an error. And then what we have to do now, next the task will be that we'll be importing numpy as np. So this is done. And next, what else it is left out? Import dask dot multiprocessing, and normally let us just import dask and keep. So all these are done. Now what else, anything else is missing? So nothing is missing right now. So let us just run it. So this is executed successfully. Now let us just check os.list dir, list of directories available. So you can see here this IPONB checkpoint, it has been created .IPONB, and this mflix link, this is useful for creating a pipeline structure. I'll be explaining you all about this in some other video. And .vs code, we are doing it in VS Code, right? So it's taking in VS Code internally. And car sales dataset. This dataset I have downloaded from one website to run every commands and show you all in Dask for now. So I'll be providing you all this dataset also. You can explore about this. So whatever code I'll be executing here, and whatever datasets and everything I'll be using, everything will be available in my GitHub. that particular GitHub repo link will be in this video description. You can check out that also. And dask.ipynb file we have created. This Dask is nothing but our venv we have created, right? Conda environment. So this is that one. So importing is done. So checking the os.list directories also are done. So normally what we used to do in pandas or normally in machine learning or in data analysis, what you used to do in Python, you used to import the required libraries and you used to directly read the CSV. But in Dask we cannot do that. We have to first create the parallel computation cluster. So for that, what you have to do, you have to select client. Let us take the frame as client. So client. Now we have to open this and we have to give n underscore workers. N underscore worker is equals to 3 of them. I'll assign 3 and then what we'll do, we'll create threads per worker. Threads per worker is equals to 1. And finally, then what we'll do, we'll check the process. The process is equals to, we'll give false. And we'll close this bracket. Let us run this. So yes, it's running properly. It's not this warning. You can ignore this particular warning. It is not an issue. So already we are running Jupyter Notebook in this particular port, right? So it is giving that issue. It is using this particular port instead. It's not an issue. You can ignore that. And let me explain you all this code now. So this client we have imported right from distributed. So this client we have used that. So n workers is equals to 3. So I have set that particular n workers is equals to 3 because I want to execute the task with the 3 workers. I am parallelly dividing the RAM into 3 workers in between 3 workers. For parallel computing, whatever task we'll be performing, it will be parallelly divided to 3 of the workers also of a cluster. So let me just practically show you all. It will be easy for you all to understand. So let me just run this client. You can see here, this is our client. So in this particular cluster, you can see the info here. So in this you can see here, number of workers are 3. Local cluster is created. So in this, if I check the scheduler, so this is scheduler. It is also working. In this also there are 3 clusters only it is showing. So now here you can see a number of workers 3, worker 1, worker 0, worker 1 and worker 2. It is using indexing format. So here each worker I have allotted 2.57 GB of the RAM, or else you can say storage. 2.57, 2.57, 2.57 are parallelly allocated. To check this in detail, just click on this particular link. So when you click on this particular link, it will take you to Dask UI. You can see here, these are our workers and this is the task process. Whatever we are running, we can see here, whatever we are executing and everything. And you can see here the workers information is here 0, 1, 2. So how much data and everything, what it is using and disk space, everything you can see in this UI. This UI is very interesting for us. So when it comes to task, for now we have not scheduled any task, so it is not showing. When it comes to system, you can see here the performance and everything. It is tracking everything what we are doing in this particular read and write, everything is tracking. So when it comes to system, okay, when it comes to profile, you can see here, you can check the profile, you can update and you can even reset. When we start to work, you will be seeing everything in detail. So you can see here scheduler is empty because we have not started with any graphs or anything. Groups also are empty. So when you go to info, you can see here worker 1, worker 2 and worker 3. So 3 of them, memory usage and allocations and everything you can see here. So and exceptions and logs also, if any errors are there, you can see everything here itself if you just click on them. So you can see in this more GPU utilization, everything. I recommend you all to explore this particular UI once you run the client. So you can see here. Now let's get back to our task. Before that, let me just keep it to home. Yeah. Okay. Let me just run this cluster again. Yeah. You can see it's here, right? So now let's start with loading the dataset and let's start to work on this. So let me load the dataset now. So df is equals to, we have given dd, right? dd dot read underscore CSV. You can see here it can show you how many methods it can read: CSV, JSON, Parquet format, SQL, and SQL query, table, everything it can read. So these all it can read. It is showing everything: ORC, HDF, FWF, everything it can read. Read underscore CSV, and I want to read car dataset, car sales dot dataset. So, and I'm assuming so the missing values are true. If you don't give this assuming that missing values are true, so sometimes it might not even show you the data what is there, because if missing values are true, if you don't mention it to that particular while reading itself to this particular data frame, it will consider that your data set is having no missing values. But when it goes to the execution, if there are missing values, then it will not show you any data. So let me just run this. So you can see it got executed within a second. How many columns are there in this particular data set? You all know, like there are many columns. Let me just show you all. First, let me show you all this Dask UI. You can see here dataset progress. You can see a 325 like you can see here it's getting loaded and everything. Tasks and systems graph. You can see the small variations in this, but here it's not showing it. Scheduler is empty. Okay. You can see here unmanaged all data. See 327 MB, 327 MB. It's getting added. It's not showing right now, but when we start to run, it will show you all in detail. It's not an issue. So reading the data set is done. So it is divided in between clusters. Okay, now just let us check the result. Okay. So let us first check the shape or else the head of that particular df dot. Let me directly just check the df. So you can see here when you just normally check the df, it is not going to show anything to you all. It is just showing the type of the data frame, and it is not showing you the data because it is stored in a Dask data frame. And to see in Dask data frame, you cannot normally like run the df and see that particular data frame how we used to see in pandas. So to see this, what we have to do, we have to either use df dot head, and we have to specify it like how many we are seeing. And if you run, now it is showing you all df dot head of first 5 data what is available. You can see here commission, commission rate, sales price, car year, and model, and everything. You can see it here. But how can you know what is the size of the data set and what is the size of that particular rows available, everything? How can you know that? How to see the entire data set? For this, what you can use df dot compute. So this compute method, when you use compute method, so it will directly show you the data. Let us see, is there any performance? You can see here now it started to show the effect when we run compute and everything. So you can see here everything, it is dividing in between them, and it is showing it is internally working. Whatever working processes are going, you can just come to this particular link, and you can see here whichever link you will get when you run the client. So you can see here when you show the compute, you can see it is showing I have 9 columns of how many rows are there. So to execute and explain you all, I have taken a large data set. So in this particular data set, there are 2 lakhs, I guess, 25 lakh rows are there. You can see here 25 lakh rows are there. So, and 9 columns are there. So guys, what does this compute method actually do? So this compute method, it is not going to do anything, but it is internally converting the Dask data frame whichever we have executed, right, task, that it will internally convert into pandas and show in the backend. So that for that we use this particular compute method. Normally when it comes to Dask, we cannot directly see whatever task we are doing. So we have to again convert it into pandas to see whether it's done or not. For that internally compute supports well. So If you, a few minutes back, if you remember, I have told that without compute we cannot see, and we used to do like pandas, just we press df if we save, and if we execute we used to see that particular tasks, right? We can even do that also in this particular task, but for that there is options. For that, what you have to do is pandas df is equals to, I'm just taking a variable, and here what we have to do, we have to store this particular compute df dot compute inside this. So when we store this and execute, and this is getting now converted at the backend, it's getting executed. So let us wait for it to complete the execution. So execution is done. Now just copy this and now just paste it here and run. So now you can see here, without using compute or anything, you can see here like these many rows and these many columns. But there is a drawback in this. If you directly try to save that to a data frame, and if you try to execute, and for the next whatever operations you are going to perform, that will not work in this. For the final output you can do like this. When everything is done and the final output you are going to save, then you can do this. But when you try to execute some tasks in Dask and you are trying to perform, then you cannot save it like this. You are getting my point? Just for to show you all, I have just showed in this method you can do it out. Okay, so guys, now let us continue with the next task. Right now we'll use df only, we are not going to use this particular data frame. I just executed it to show you all. So now what we'll do, we'll try to find out the sales price. So we can even find out the sum in Dask. To find out sum, I'll just mention here code to find out sum. So in this, what we will be doing, let's take an example of any one column. So I want to find the sum of this particular total amount, like how much amount this particular entire column contains. I want to find the sum. How can we find it? So I'm going to write code for that in this particular Dask programming method. So let us write code for that. For that we have to do nothing but we have to create a data frame result, or else just directly create something like sum1. I cannot give sum because sum is a function in Python. Sum1 is equals to df of which particular column I want to. So I want to take sales price. So let's directly copy this and let's come here, paste, remove this sales price, df of sales price dot sum, run. So now if I check this sum1, will it show me results or not? Guys, pause the video and tell me, will it shows the result or not? You can see here it is not going to show the result because it is internally saving in the form of series and float data type, series and float data type. So to see this again, what we have to use, we have to use dot compute. So we have to use dot compute and again run this, and now if I run, I can see the result. So in Dask, remember one thing, each and every task which you are executing, if you want to see the output, at last give dot compute, or else you cannot see the result. So you can see here, this is the total amount that particular in this particular data set it contains, and all the companies have earned total of this much amount. You are getting my point? So then what else can we do with this data set? We have to think about that. What else can we perform in this particular data set? So compute is done and I have explained about everything. So to check columns, there are some similar codes in pandas and Dask also. There are some small similar codes. To check columns, you can use here also df dot columns and just run it, you will get it. Okay. You can see here, these are our columns. Date, sales, person, customer name, car maker, car model, year and everything, and object data type is equals to object. So this is to find the columns. I know I'm going very slow and I want to explain you all in detail because again you should not refer Dask and you should not forget Dask easily. So only I'm going very slowly and I'm explaining you all step by step. Just bear with me till the end of this particular video. So this is done. Using this we can find out the columns, whatever columns are present in our particular data frame. Now let us take df dot is null. So to see null values, I am going to check this using null values. Is null again. Now if you run this code, it will run, but the output will not come as we expected. Let's run and see. See, I told you all right. Output will not come as we expected because that is Dask data frame. So now what we have to do? We have to again take dot compute and we have to give even again dot sum. So even we need the sum right for each columns. So we are doing that. Now it's getting executed. Let us wait for it to complete. 25 lakhs column, in a sense, it is going to take a bit time. So you can see here, this data set is clean. There is no null values in this particular data set. No null values in this data set. So this is done. In Dask, we have another speciality also. We can select a specific columns in Dask. Even in pandas we can do that, but to select a specific columns, what we are going to do, and I'll show you all. You can even select a specific name of that particular header name, everything. You can select the specific person also. I'll show you all how to do that. So to select and details in that column. For this, what we'll do, we can take df of, let us first select only one column, then I'll show you all how to select multiple columns. So inside this, I'll take an example of salesperson. So here it's showing salesperson. So I want to find the head. I want to find the first two persons in that particular column. I want to know the details of the first two persons. So if I run this, it is showing here. The first person is Monaco. Second person is Roberto. You can see here it is showing only the first 2% details and it is excluding all the other details in this particular column. We cannot do this particular thing in pandas, I hope so. But in this particular Dask, we can do that. So this is to see one column. Now let us see how to see multiple columns. To see multiple columns, what we have to do, df of same, and again we have to give date. Let us take an example, right? At which date that particular salesperson was available, first person. So let me take that date. We have date column, right, in this, so comma salesperson SCL df of salesperson. Let me to copy and paste it here. Okay, salesperson dot head. Same again, I want to see only first two members. I hope so. This will throw out an error. I told you all right. This is throwing out an error. Can anyone guess why it is throwing out an error? So it is showing that key error, because to see that particular person or the person details, here we are checking in array format. So we have imported arrays, you remember now, from NumPy. So here this is in one dimension array. So we have just given one column, right? So it's giving in one dimension array. But when it comes to see two details, you have to give two dimension array. You have to define two list boxes. And now if we run, it is going to show it. You can see here for two dimension array, two columns. This is just one dimension array. So we got the output here itself. Here we cannot get like that, right? So we have to give two. Same we can follow for multiple. If you can define your another column and you have to give again 3-dimension array. The same way it continues. You can see here on 2022 8/1 Monaco More MD was the salesperson, and this person was salesperson on 15 of 3. This is the random data set I have taken from online. So using this only I am executing and showing you all. Okay, then what else can we do? We can even perform map functions to upper, to lower and everything in this. That I want you all to explore. Now let us check the data types. In this also same df dot d types. And just run. You don't need to give open and closing bracket. It will automatically take into Dask. You can see here. Date is an object in Dask data frame. Salesperson object. These all are objects. Price, commission earned and commission rate are float, and car year also is float. You are getting my point. This is the method to see data, data types. And what else can we do? We can get even describe. We used to describe and see the percentage, right? How much it is in sales and everything. We can even use describe also in this. In this, that describe is nothing but there we used to take the particular column dot describe and we used to run. Here describe dot column. You can give that. For example, now let me show what you can float I have to take. So let us check commission earned describe. So df of inside this I'll take commission earned. Yeah, commission earned. Just paste it here. So commission earned is run. Now dot des describe dot compute. Let's run it. You can see here it is showing 2.5000. So it is showing the maximum, minimum, count and std. This one I'll discuss with you all in detail when we start with the machine learning project. In the projects video I'll explain you all in detail. This is just understand for now. You can even perform describe and you can see the 75th percentile is this much, 50th percentile is this much and minimum is this much. You're getting my point? Okay, even you can find out the mean also in Dask. Let us check this code out in our documentation. I told you all that we should refer documentation, right? See, you can see here our scheduler also, you can see here it is showing different impacts. Whichever things we are running, based on that it's saving each and everything. So let us see in the Dask. In this now let us search for Dask. Find mean. So where is Dask array mean? You can see here even this documentation is there. You can check out in this also. So you can directly go to examples and see here np dot mean of a. You can use np dot mean of a, and even there is another method to see for a data set. So for that what we can do, we will be storing this in an df of mean. So this is a column. Inside this what I'll do, df of, I'll be taking the mean of sale price only. So where is sale price in this? Let me to copy from here. Yeah. Sale price dot mean. So just use the mean function. You can use it, or else you can use np dot mean. It's of your choice, but directly using mean is better, right? df underscore mean. Okay. So again, what we have to do, dot compute. Run this now. You can see here, this is the mean of that particular sale price. You can even check out medium mode. I want you all to try out this particular code. So guys, I don't think this is going to take that much time for you all. It's easy to understand. If you use this compute method and mean mode, you all can try out it easily. So now let us dive into some scenario problems. So for that, let me just check the data and let us create a small scenario of problems and let us try to solve out with that. df dot, I require only some basic data to know like what we can perform. So I'm just taking head for now. You can see here. So salesperson, customer name, car model, sale price. So with sale price, can we do anything? So guys, I have a scenario question now. Okay, based on sale price. So this particular data contains sale price amount of final amount of 50,000 until 50,000. So let me just create a scenario question based on that. Okay, I want. Okay, where is this? So guys, okay, let me to just write it here. Let me to just write it here and let us. I want only the data set of data of customers or else cars sale price about 35,000. Randomly, I'm taking 35,000. So for this, what we can do? For this, what we can do in Dask. So guys, I'll be typing the code, but if you all want to give a try, just pause this video until here and just go and search the code for this particular what we can do to get only the data set of 35,000. So if you get the columns of 35,000, how many columns are there? Or else let me just execute this and show, then I'll give you all a question or else a task, small task. So what we can do, we'll take df, open bracket and close bracket. In this df, again I want df of that particular column which I want to. So let me take sale price itself. Based on sale price, I want, right? So I'll copy this sale price column here, paste here. So sale price. Now what we'll do, so from this particular data frame, df of sale price column, to select the column we have to give again df inside, greater than, so 35,000, which is greater than 35,000. This will be the code. Give greater than symbol 35,000 dot compute. Just run this code now. So now you will get the data set of or else the data of only the cars which are sold of about 35,000. You can see here, this is 38,000 and this is sold by Roboto and Patrick and Halston. So how many cars are above 35,000? You can see here 9,38,701 cars are of above 35,000 price. So now my question will be that I want the same but cars less than 25,000. So I want you all to execute this particular task, and when you get the output, I don't want the code. I want you all to comment this particular amount, this particular number of rows. How many rows are there? Or else how many cars are there sold less than 35,000? So I want you all to do that and paste that code or else paste this particular output columns, rows and rows and columns in this particular video comment section. So guys, I'll be waiting for your response. Now let's not waste our time. Let's continue with the other topic. So this is done. One scenario question we have solved it out. So I hope you understood how to do it. Let us take any another scenario question for your understanding. So now I want to find the vehicle registration. So you can see here in this particular uh, data set, you can see here car year is also available. So with this, can we do anything? So I have a question for this from you all. I want to find only vehicles register on 2017. How can we? So guys, I want only the data set or else only the vehicles which are registered on 2017. Apart from that, I don't want any other vehicles. For this, what we can do in this particular code. So for this, what we can do, same again, take df of same code what we have done at here, the same code, but we have a small changes, that's all. Again, take df of, we'll take here as car year, car year, okay, here y capital. What we can do here now, car year is double equal to is nothing but equal to car year is equal to 2017 dot compute. So run this code. So guys, now you will get the data of only the cars which are of 2017, sold on 2017. You can see here. So there are how many cars sold on 2017? 1,92,663 cars were sold only on 2017 on that particular year. With this, you can perform even many other operations also. I want you all to give a try out. So until now, we have checked how can we do the segregation and we have solved the scenario problems. Now let's dive into some graphical problems. Graphical problem in a sense that I am telling you all about data visualization. So guys, until now we have performed all other operations, we have checked everything. So now let us do some data visualization in the data and let us check. Even in Dask also we can do some data visualization. So I was mentioning you all that I'll be explaining you all some small drawbacks also, right? So in Dask, all other libraries are supported, but Seaborn is not supported. But in pandas, you can see all libraries are supported. Even Seaborn is supported. But when it comes to Dask, here we cannot use Seaborn because it is not supported to Dask. So instead of Seaborn, we can use matplotlib in Dask. So remember that, okay? Let me just mention it in this particular notebook only so that you all might not miss about it. Okay, so now let's import matplotlib. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So this is done. Let's run the import. So import is done. Now let's try to create some matplotlib for box plot. Let us try to create some box plot for this particular code. So I'll give figure comma axis is equals to plt dot subplot. So this I have defined out. So now what we can do, ax dot box plot ax dot box plot of, so let us take df of what we can take here. So let us take sales price only. So let us take the sale price only for representation. It will be easy amount, right? So we can easily check the box plot. Then what we can do, we can just give dot compute. It's easy code, only one line of code, nothing else. So dot compute. So you can even given the title x label and y label also. For that, what we can do, ax dot set underscore title, set underscore title is equals to what we can give in title. So we can give anything of your choice. Sales price plot. Let us just give this So after this, what we can do, ax dot set underscore y label is nothing but, let's again give the same name as sale price only for this. So sale price. And now what we'll do, finally we'll just show the plot. To show the plot, what we can do, we can just use something called as plt dot show. So now let us just execute this. Okay, what is the error it is giving out? Cannot unpack uniterable access object. So what is that? Ax is equals to subplot. Okay, subplots. Okay, I made an error at s. So guys, let's just run it. You all might think from where I'm getting this code. This I have previously executed, so I know about this. If you all want, even you all can search here. What's the issue it is giving? Sale price dot compute. Dict object has no attribute compute. So okay. Okay, we forgot to close one more bracket here, right? Okay, this bracket which we have opened here, right? This should come at the end. So only it is giving the issue. So now let's run this. You can see here, this is sale price plot and this is our Y label. So to get this, you don't need to do anything. Just you have to search Dask matplotlib. So let us just search for this. You can see here in Stack Overflow, I'll get it, and also you can select in this also. In this particular Dask documentation only, you will get it here. So ETL pipelines, you can leave about this. So there is something called as from SK images import data.io. Okay. This, not this. Examples, let us go to examples and check out. So here you can see each and every examples of whatever operations you can perform. You can perform group by, you can read, write, you can do custom aggregation, you can make some messy data, read some messy data, and there are many other things you can do in this. So okay, machine learning. There is machine learning also. You can there is a library called Dask ML, using which you can use all the operations which you used to use in sklearn, and you can perform all the machine learning operations in Dask itself. That we will be doing in a project, so don't worry about that. So here it should come, the code should come. Where is the code? Should ask reading the messy data, no. Patch prediction, PyTorch, okay. Not an issue, guys. I guess there is some issue. Okay, visualization task graph. Okay, these visualizations are there. There are many methods. You can even use matplotlib. So you can see here, we have personally used matplotlib, right? Here we have imported matplotlib and we have directly used it in Dask. We can use that also. That's not an issue. So you can see here our particular status. It's tracking continuously. When we loaded the data, it was somewhere at this point. Now, as we are performing the operations, it's increasing its memory size. Like usage is getting increased. So let's continue with it. I'll just, this is the code to just run the matplotlib code. You can see here in this, nothing is yet to understand. Everything it is same what you do in pandas, but here why we have used compute, as I used to earlier, I have told you all that. See, if you use compute, it internally converts the Dask data frame into pandas data frame or else pandas visualization. So the same way here we have used dot compute to, after performing the task, to convert it to pandas format and then it to show that particular data. You can see here 30,000 is the medium sales, high and low everything is there. 50,000 is the highest sales and 10,000 is the lowest sales, and everything everything is mentioned here. So that percentages and everything what we used to do it, right? Minimum, maximum, everything is here. You're getting my point? So guys, until now we have done all this, and let us now perform some small slicing operations also. Parallelly at the last I'll be showing you all one more visualization. Okay. So let us first now perform some slicing operations on data. For this what we can do, just normally take the df of slice. To slice you have to give this particular format, colon, and now you have to do like what we have to take. You have to take the sales price. I'm taking sales price only because it is a float value, right? It's easy to execute. Dot head of only 3 values. So when we run this, what it is going to do? It is just going to slice the first 3 values, and it is only just showing from that particular sale price. If you just remove that 3 and run, it will show you almost 5 sale prices, first 5 sale prices. And if you run compute, it will show you completely everything. Okay, so from this now what we can perform, I'll tell you all. So you can even use ilock in this particular Dask framework. df.ilock method is there. Ilock. Let's come here. So it should start from 0th index and it should end at the first index itself. So it should end at the first index and it should give me dot head of that particular head. Only 5 I want to see, so I'm giving just head. You can see here it performed ilock and it is showing only just first 5 records of date column. So here if I remove 1 and if I give 2, what it happens? It is showing you all only the first 2 columns. Using this you can only get the limited whatever columns you want, right? So there is no that much requirement. It's easy to understand. If you give -1, same what we used to do in pandas to slice the operations or else slice the columns, the same thing you can do here also. But there is something interesting in Dask. So df.head. So here you can see first 2 columns and all you have sliced, it's fine. So now let me give you all one more scenario question here. So now I want only the salesperson and the person sold which car. I don't want anything else apart from that. So I want only the salesperson who has sold the car and what is the car, who is making the car. Only I want this and this column. I don't want this column. I don't want this column. Can we do this? So guys, can we do this? If yes, just pause the video and comment the code below. And if you have not subscribed the channel, do subscribe the channel and on the bell notification. Encourage me guys to make more videos. So now let me type for you all the code. You can perform that operation easily. For that what you have to do is only taking, I'm just writing it out, salesperson name and who is making the car. For this what we can do, same again we can use df.ilock. So from this ilock what I want, so I'll be giving everything starts from here, then comma, and now here what I have to do, I have to take again a list and I have to give the index 1 and index 3. I want only the index first index column and the third index column. And now what I have to do, I have to give df then head and then run. That's all. So this option is available in Dask to only get these both columns. So you can see here salesperson and the car. So this person has sold Nissan car and this person has sold Nissan, Ford and Honda. So you can do like this. So guys, if you all have watched until here, I know that you all might have felt that Dask is a bit easy and you can learn it easily if you practice it. Only if you practice well, you can understand the things well, and when you practically execute, you will get the concepts easily. If you get any issues or any errors, it's not an issue. Just check out in the Dask documentation. Still, if your error is not getting solved, ask ChatGPT. It's the best AI assistant for you to help better. So now let us perform some small last examples. Then we'll have come to the end of the video. Let's perform the last examples and check out. So now what we'll do, now we want only the car makers. We want the data of according to the car makers. For that, what we can do, we'll create a new data frame. Sales is equals to df.set index. So I want the index accordingly. So I'll give here as car maker, or else car make. Yeah, it's car make, right? Car make, comma drop is equals to false. So we are dropping this here. Now we are not going to drop. So we are not going to drop, right? So we have given false space. Alias sales dot compute. Let's execute this now. Okay. Getting executed. Let's wait for it to get execute. It's taking a bit time. Let's check this particular status. Okay, it's performing the task. So let's wait for it to perform the task. Okay, it's going to one worker back. Okay. But it's executing the task. Let's wait for it to complete the task. Okay. So task is done. It went back to one worker because we have taken it completely this side. So now you can see the car maker. It's Chevrolet, Toyota. It has selected according to the car makers. Previously, the data was not in order according to the car makers. It was just in between. All the cars data was mixed. Now it has created an order. So first Chevrolet comes, then Toyota comes. It comes accordingly. So now what we are going to do, now based on this particular data, whatever we have segregated here, right? Car make, according to the car make, we have segregated the data, right? So based on this, we are going to create a graph right now, a visual graph. So let's create that right now. For that, what we can do is we can we can use import. We have already imported Dask data frame as DD, and we have even imported matplotlib as PLT. Now what we'll be doing, now we need to import dask.diagnosis. Diagnostics, dask.diagnostics. Now what we are going to do, now we are going to create a plot on dependent columns. We are going to create a plot upon this. So what we'll be doing with dask.diagnostics.progress bar, we are going to just check the progress of each car sales. So progress bar, what we'll be doing with this particular point. Now same again, figure comma x is equals to plt dot subplots. Subplots, where is subplots? Yeah, subplots, open bracket and close bracket. Now what we'll be doing, ax is equals to, now from this what we'll be doing, we'll be creating a bar graph based on this. So for this, what I can do, I'll be just taking directly this one and I'll be doing this. This one I wanted to show you all, so I just did like this so that you can see accordingly. Each car sales you can see accordingly. So from here, what we'll be doing, we'll be taking this particular code. I have just copied and pasted it from internet. So now what I'll be doing, ax dot set underscore x label. So our x label will be, we can give anything, right? So we'll give your car manufacturer. Or else car model, we can give car model. We'll give car model here. Now what we'll be giving, ax dot set underscore y label. So for this, what we'll be doing, y label, and here we'll be giving count. So we want only the count, right? So we will be giving count. So it's bar plot. Now finally what we'll be doing, we'll be doing plt dot show to see the plot. So now let's run this. What it's giving, no module named diagnostics. So for this, what we have to do, from import dask dot diagnostics, we have imported, right? Or else module diagnostics has no attribute progress bar. Okay, progress bar is not there. So what is the issue in progress bar? Okay, P should be capital letter. Now it should get executed, I hope so. Yeah, it got executed. So guys, now you can see based on this particular graph, what we can come to the conclusion. So each car companies have sold exactly for 50,000 only. So all the car companies are having same, all like from 0 to 50,000, they are having the cost. In a sense, all the car models, whichever car is having that particular models or sales, so until here they have sold. They have the highest cost of 50,000 and the least cost of 10,000, 5,000 until 0. Now getting my point? By seeing this plot only you will get the conclusion. And finally what we can do, now we will be counting the value counts. We will be getting the values or else counts of that particular car company so that we can get easy conclusion. For that, what we'll be doing, df okay, car make. So df of car make dot value underscore counts, value underscore counts dot compute. So now let's just execute this. You can see here Honda company has made this many sales and this one. So each car sales are clearly mentioned here. You can see here. So it's almost same. In this, the least sales were made by Nissan company and the highest sales is of Honda company. So guys, I think you all got this easily now. So guys, until here you all understood it very well, right? This particular graph and this particular value counts. So next we can perform the machine learning operations also using Dask. But this particular data set is only for data analysis. We cannot perform any machine learning operations in this particular data set. So this particular data set I have just taken to show you all the analysis and feature engineering how we can do. So that's all for today's video. And in the next video, as I have told you all, we will be doing a project using Dask, and there we will be practically implementing machine learning also, and we will be solving all the challenges. So guys, and don't remember to watch out the documentation. Only documentation can help you better to learn the task faster. So guys, that's all for today's video. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you all. Bye bye.